Alright everyone, so a lot of news about Sonic Frontiers has just been happening, left and right. So it's a lot. I'm going to try to include the important parts in this video because a lot of people have gotten their hands-on impressions of Sonic Frontiers, and as we know, next weekend, a lot of people will get to play the demo on EGX, and I'm hearing a lot of positive reviews. There hasn't been a single overall negative review of this game, and it's very promising. So I got a lot to talk about that, especially someone, content creator or Sonic tubers impressions of Sonic Frontiers, which does contain gameplay spoilers as well as some other stuff too, like Sonic Prime. But before I do, be sure to smash that like button, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's even get to 100k subs before the year is out. Alright, so Sonic Prime, let's talk about that first. Now, the release date has allegedly been revealed. Now, we all know that Sonic Prime is coming out in December. I talked about that in the previous Sonic Prime video. It has been leaked that it will come out in December, but we don't know when exactly, what date that it will come out in that month. So, according to Tails channel, Sonic Prime planned to debut in mid-December, according to unreleased official documents. Sonic Prime has been targeted for a mid-December release window with a tentative debut of December 15th, on Netflix. So, two documents obtained by Tails channel in early September described an upcoming promotion from Sega to advertise Prime for release window around the middle of December 2022. Though it did not explicitly rule out a provisionality, it is understood that the advertised release date is Thursday 15th December. Though Tails channel were able to independently obtain one of the mentioned documents from a third-party repository to corroborate the claim. Damn these words. The third party will not be named to protect their interest. One claimed that a public announcement of a release date is imminent, even though Netflix's last official ad blitz for Prime was last June. We already know Netflix is going to announce something soon, supposedly, because Netflix Totem is coming out September 24th, so I have a feeling they're going to at least announce the release date officially for Sonic Prime, and we still haven't gotten an official trailer for Sonic Prime. So I mean, it's true Netflix usually waits like a month before they release a show to advertise it, especially if the show is not big. If it's not big like Stranger Things or Orange is the New Black or Umbrella Academy, they're going to wait until the last minute to start marketing it. But this is Sonic Prime. Sonic is doing big this year and they want to get a lot of views. So if I were them, this month would be the best time, September 24th, to officially release the trailer, since it will be less than 3 months until the show comes out. And we all know Sonic Prime is not going to come out later in December because of the Christmas holidays. So it's either going to be early December or mid-December. Alright, now on to Sonic Frontiers. Now we got some merch and a poster revealed. Now, I don't care about merch, but we finally see the full picture of that one 2D art promo of Sonic Frontiers. Before, they blocked out two figures, but those two figures are now revealed to be Sage and the Titan. Now, I don't know why Sega chose to hide them before, because we've been knowing about Sage and the Titan even before this dropped. They were already officially shown, so I don't know why they decided to block them. It's not like it's some mystery character. That got all of us thinking it would be Shadow that would be in the shadow. No pun intended, but it's just the Titan and Sage. Now, me thinks that Titan is going to be prevalent in several of the bosses in the island. The Titan will maybe have different forms in each island that Sonic will have to fight, or the bosses will be different that Sonic has to fight. When I mean bosses, I mean Titans, not the Guardians. So yeah, but looks really cool, and it's just so amazing to me that we haven't gotten not one promo of Tails. We've seen Sonic, we haven't seen Knuckles, but we know he's coming. We've seen that little teaser with him in Sonic Frontiers Prologue. We've seen a lot of Amy, but we haven't seen Tails. So to the people that still want to argue with me about Sonic Rose is not a thing, get over it, gamer guy. No, I refuse to get over it, because name me one Sonic game that promotes him and Amy in it and no one else. Tell me, I'll wait. What Sonic video game, 3D and 2D, whatever, only shows Sonic and Amy in its marketing? No Knuckles, no Tails. I mean, we saw Eggman, but that was in leaked footage of the demo at SGF. I'm talking about official. Besides Sage and the villains, we have just seen Sonic and Amy. Yeah. So when people called this Sonic Rose during its early development time, they weren't lying. I'm not saying there's going to be a romance like Sonic and Elise or whatever. No. But there's going to be Sonic and Rose moments that Tsunami fans will enjoy. That's what I'm trying to say. You guys are basically in denial right now. Come on. But yeah, speaking of the marketing has really improved lately for Sonic Frontiers, especially in Japan. It's like, did Sega finally get the message that they need to do more marketing? Like, this needs to be studied. How they started at rock bottom with the marketing, showing early footage of Frontiers, which made everybody doubt it. Like, just look at those early videos on IGN. They have more dislikes than likes. They had us really worried. And now everybody seems to like it for the most part. You know, like this needs to be studied. Even the marketing in Japan has really improved. I've noticed Sega has been more focused on Japan marketing since Sonic Forces. Remember the whole Hooters thing in Sonic Forces when they had like the Hooters girls promoting it? That was funny. They're doing a lot of that now with like the Booth Babes and TGS or Tokyo Game Show. And I like that because it's like, especially now that Sonic is going back to his shonen roots, we need Sonic to be prevalent in the country that he was birthed from, that he was created from, Japan. You know, Sonic is shonen, and I think that has been lost. Sonic has lost his way this past decade during the meta era, trying to appease to the West and not even appeasing to us at all with the whole Baldy McNosehair jokes, the Pontav era, all the cringe. So I'm pretty sure that alienated Sonic from Japan. But now that Sonic is getting in touch with his shonen roots now, you know, Japan, I think they're more susceptible now to Sonic. You know, because Sonic is supposed to be similar to Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super, all that, and we all know Dragon Ball is very huge in Japan. So that's what needs to happen. I love to see it. Also in the TGS, they showed the full gameplay of Chemical Plant. And I'm just going to play it right here. That looks awesome, my guys. Like, sure, it's abridged version of Generations Chemical Plant. Sure, it's only a minute long, but did you see the level design? There are multiple paths, just like in Chemical Plant Generations. Like, you can see the tubes on Chemical Plant which Sonic runs. There's like at least three alternate paths that Sonic can take. These levels have high replay value. Sure, they're short, pretty much like glorified special stages. You have to play them several times if you want to 100% it. Get all the red rings, collect enough rings to beat the level, you know, get 0 damage, stuff like that. And I love it. Or get S ranks. So these levels look like they're going to be way more fun than Forces, which is just straight path boost to win, and is going to have a lot of replay value. So I don't know about you guys. You know, I did see some people criticizing like the Sky Sanctuary zone, and you know, that part saying it was just a straight line. You guys shouldn't really blame that on Frontiers. You should blame that on Unleashed, because the level design is literally ripped from Unleashed. Sure, it's abridged, it's shortened. All the 2D sections in Unleashed are missing, but all the 3D sections are there. Trust me. Like, you Unleashed fans are just going to have to accept the fact that Generations had way better level design than Unleashed. Superior level design. Unleashed was a lot of boost to win sections. I mean, I loved it because of the spectacle and the, you know, high octane action, but that's it. So what you guys are seeing in Sky Sanctuary is literally Windmill Isle 3D sections. So if you're saying that, oh, it's just a straight line, there's not that much path, it's too linear, well, that's what Windmill Isle was. Sorry to say. But yeah, in an interview, Kishimoto even says the hidden goal of Sonic Frontiers is bringing Sonic Team back to the top of the gaming industry. I can tell. They thoroughly did everything to make the game good. They held playtesting once every 3 or 4 months until this July, since 2017 or 2018. So this game has been in production since right after Forces, which is awesome. I thought they started production in 2019. But this explains why Frontiers has been leaked so much. Like, this is the most leaked 3D Sonic game for sure. You know, and this all makes sense because they held several playtesting to make sure everything is polished and everything is good. I must say, when this game comes out, whether you like it or not, it will be the most polished Sonic game. So that's a good thing. Now, the rest of the article is in Japanese, so I don't really want to translate it, but yeah, it's good to hear that they're taking this seriously. They're taking a lot of things seriously. And also the combat. Super Sonic will have different combat than regular Sonic or base Sonic when he fights the Titans. That's great to hear. Now, as we know, 3 islands have been confirmed in Sonic Frontiers. You know, Kronos Island, Ares Island, and then the Volcano Island, which we've seen in screenshots. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be Hades. Please, let it be called Hades. That will be a missed opportunity if it's not Hades. So that now leaves 2 islands left. Now, we are most guaranteed going to get a snowy island. It just makes sense. You know, we're going to get a snowy island, and I feel like it's going to be called Boreas or Boreas. Why do I think that? Well, Boreas is a Greek god of winter, or goddess of winter. I forgot. I'm going to put the description right here. So that god represents winter, you know, seasons change, and that will totally fit a snowy island. Now, what will the last island be? I hope it's going to be a city island, because I mean, you can't have a Sonic game without cities, and if we're having a city cyberspace stage, I want to see a city island. Of course it's going to be deserted, but like, I would love to see something like Crisis City open world without the lava, of course. But yeah, I would want to see that. But if we don't get to see that, what island will we get? Now, one person said that, what if the 5th island is Angel Island? Would be a great way to reintroduce Hypersonic, or even a new form. Plus, it would be a ton to the story. It would also explain why Knuckles is involved. That would be cool if it literally transported his island as a Starfall Island. I think that could work. The only thing is, Angel Island is known to have several different biomes, from Sandopolis to Mushroom Hill to like Hydro City, Carnival, to obviously Angel Island, Ice Cap. So there's a lot of different biomes in Angel Island itself. Are they actually going to show that? Or is it just going to be like the tropical Angel Island? Because honestly, I don't want to just run through a tropical Angel Island and then we already have a green island, a greenish island, which is Kronos. I would much rather have a city island. But I mean, for the sake of the lore, I guess Angel Island could work. Now, another thing, it looks like people who buy Sonic Frontiers on the Nintendo Switch will get an exclusive animation. If you participate in the Ishiban Kuji campaign 3 times, in addition to what you win, you will also receive a DLC code, exclusive to Switch apparently, to unlock an in-game animation of Sonic playing with a Coco. So that's nice that the Switch is going to have exclusive things to it, because I am going to buy this game initially on the Switch, and if I love it, I'm going to buy it again on the PS5. And it's kind of cool, man. You can tell they're really taking this game seriously, because the director of Frontiers, Kishimoto, also mentioned that the upper management team was probably frustrated because the game took too long to be finished. But Azuka-san worked hard to protect the scene and help the dev team so they can get more time to develop the game. This is great to hear that Azuka's taking it seriously. No wonder this game has had 5 years development time. And if it's true that they started this back in 2017, 2018, yeah, that makes this the longest worked on 3D Sonic game ever. So that is great to hear. I love that. They didn't rush this game. Also, the early reviews have been very positive. From like the side loop, you can do many different patterns of the side loop, to even the ring dash. You can do a light dash. You know, when you get hurt, when Sonic gets hurt, the rings will usually be in a straight line, or they'll fall in a circle around Sonic, so Sonic can do a light dash around it. Now, I don't know who thought of this, but this has been something I've always thought about since I was young, playing the adventure games. I was like, yo, when Sonic gets hurt, why can't he use light dash to collect all the rings instantly, instead of walking around awkwardly trying to collect them? Since Sonic Frontiers hands-on impressions is actually decent, and even another reviewer here says that the Sonic Frontiers preview is a new step in the right direction. Now, the one criticism that they wrote here, because I'm not going to read all the positive things, I would much rather read the gameplay spoilers. But the one negative that this person had was that the only real criticism I have is that there are too many instructional and narrative cutscenes. The game should just flow, as it already feels natural enough with Sonic boosting everywhere, so breaking that up takes away from that. I still think the environment shouldn't look so bleak, but Sonic Frontiers could be promising if Sega gets out of the way of the blue hedgehog and just lets him just go fast. Okay, so it looks like this person doesn't care about the story of Frontiers, but that also is a good thing, because it lets us know that Frontiers is very cutscene and story heavy. I'm okay with that. We need a Sonic game with a serious story, a melancholy feel, and it looks like this person just cares about the gameplay and doesn't care about the narrative cutscenes. So that's a good thing to me. Obviously, some of the people, especially people who grew up on the Meta era, won't be used to this, because the last time a Sonic game has had such a heavy focus on the cutscenes and story was Sonic 06, and that wasn't that good. Even Sonic Unleashed didn't have that much. But anyway, let's read the reviews of Jordan Pox. He said, so I've just been having an amazing conversation with MTB Cooler, and he answered some questions about his time with Sonic Frontiers. Warning, gameplay spoilers ahead. Now this is a lot. Let's see if I can get through this. So the drop dash, from what I saw, it seems more like an attack rather than a way of movement. Did you feel momentum going through that hill? Answer, it definitely isn't an attack though, as it's rather sluggish to activate, especially during combat. It only activates after the double jump. I don't remember if there was any rolling physics. In general, I felt like the drop dash was forced in there since fans like it so much. You have about as much turning control with drop dash as say Gen's boost, and it doesn't slowly get slower. Okay, so the drop dash is really just there for like cosmetic appeal. It doesn't really do much, but I'm still going to use it, you know. Next question. So you went into the menus. Do the sliders have a noticeable effect? Do you think people can find a happy medium playstyle? Yes, there's absolutely a very noticeable change, and I think most people with tinkering will be able to find a good medium playstyle. The fact that this game has so much variety in its physics and playstyle is going to be overwhelming for me because I'm not going to know the right one to choose. I'm going to be toggling with it so much. But that's great. So now nobody can complain about the physics of the game feeling off or whatever because it's up to you to toggle it. And knowing Game Grumps, they're going to play this game on the Switch. They're going to play the most inferior version to try to clown on it. And knowing Aaron, he's not going to know about any of the slider thing. So he's just going to play whatever it is. And if it doesn't work for him, he's going to complain about the game without trying to adjust the sliders. Now, big one, Cyberspace. So, Sonic's regular running speed is pretty slow in open zone unless you pull off that trick I did in session 2 where you boost right before a jump to emulate a spin dash. You feel like you are really quickly transitioning back to running speed. So basically, jumping at all ruins the most important thing of boost, which is flow. But wait, it gets worse. The air boost only lasts like a second and locks your direction. And with these physics that feel closer to forces but with the way slower jump, it makes it really hard to both estimate how far it will take you and also ruins your flow. I think it's by far the worst aspect of Frontiers. The best change they did is keeping the stages 3D or 2D. Okay, so he is saying that there's some physics problems, like air boost is not that powerful. To be honest, guys, I don't like an overpowered air boost. I hated the air boost in Forces. How you could just boost over levels, skipping the entire thing, I hated it. I like the air boost like in Sonic Generations and Sonic Unleashed. It's controlled. You can air boost, but you're not going to use that to abuse and, jump over most of the level design. So I don't think this is a bad thing. I'm going to have to play it myself and see. How did you find the general exploration? The general exploration was pretty great. I really wanted to explore a lot of the side paths, and it was really painful not being able to explore at my own pace due to needing to keep in mind that there's a time limit, which is a good thing. One major change that is easy to take for granted when you haven't played it is the boost being on the RT button. It allows you to move around and boost at the same time, since with Frontiers you need to work in tandem with the right analog stick. Okay, so the fact that the exploration is the most fun thing to do in the game is a W, because this whole game will fall apart if the open world and the exploration is boring. Because if you're just playing this game just for the cyberspace stages, you're in for a huge disappointment. Now, combat. What was it like fighting bosses and smaller enemies? Ninja was amazing, though can get really button mashy when you know how to fight them. The smaller enemies were boring. Tower is rather fun as you need to avoid his ring mainly. I did notice that eventually you can skip some sections by jumping to their face. It was however really fun. I just hope enemy variety and upgrades can keep it from being as button mashy as in the beginning. Unless you want to grind, there is no reason to fight the regular enemies. They either are pretty meh to fight or go down way too easily. You don't get too much XP, so I can imagine unless they are put on a tight platforming section, most people will ignore them. Guardians is where it's at. Those are mostly fun, except Asura. Okay, Asura seems pretty hard. Mainly the flying off and the hitbox of the lightning barriers. I got hit way high up in the air once. You can farm gears from Asura though. Each side loop around his legs gives you a gear. Okay, so looks like a lot of the enemies you can skip. You don't have to fight them all the time, which is true of a lot of fighting RPG games. You don't have to fight every single enemy that pops up or respawns. And it looks like you can fight these guardians more than once to grind and, farm portal gears. I thought once you beat them once, they don't spawn again. You know what I'm saying? Big the cat. What can you tell us about him and his segment of the game? Big, yes, there is more side stuff. The voice memos were Eggman themed. I think they contain Eggman's notes on Cyberspace. Most of the interesting stuff was locked behind multiple golden tickets. Let me quench a major rumor, by the way. Big isn't locked behind the save glitch. He's really easy to get to. Anyways, the shop. There were also rings, XP, gears, memory tokens, keys, and more that I'm forgetting. Plot relevant stuff mostly costed more than one ticket, okay? Sonic's jump. I just like to know how you felt about it. Well, in open zone, it was really great. You could control it well, and even after double jump, felt in control. That's a good thing. But in cyberspace, it's cyberspace's biggest flaw. Yeah, like I saw in the TGS gameplay, it looks like you can jump out of the level sometimes, jump out of the platform and die. See, that's the thing about a lot of this boost gameplay. Generations was on rails a lot for a reason, to keep things tight. That's why the movements and gameplay was kind of stiff, so you won't fly off the level and you can play well. And it benefited Generations, but wouldn't benefit an open world game. But now the open world game where Sonic is more fluid and free, putting him in the cyberspace stage with generations and unleashed level design, he's going to fly off. So I kind of wish they kind of adjusted the physics for the cyberspace stages, but whatever. I think that's asking for too much. Now, what was the music like with the different bosses in cyberspace? Honestly, I don't remember much. The only music I can remember that I don't have recorded is 1-1, and it being extremely underwhelming. The rest fell into the background for me. Yeah, I guess it was a lot of noise. And isn't 1-1 like Green Hill? Do you think this game is challenging if people aren't paying attention? Can they see themselves dying a lot? Yeah, especially later on, I believe. Other than Ashura, all my deaths were me being careless. I would have liked a ring counter on Sonic himself though. Okay, so there's no ring counters. That's weird. Are there any other side notes you've got for us based on your experience with the demo? I think Frontiers has the potential to be a bridge between adventure and boost. This game, if it is received well by the fans, may make modern Sonic fans more united, which is huge. So alright, that wraps it up, and that's all the questions and answers, and that's pretty great, you know. It's really promising. I like what I'm seeing, you know. So what do you guys think about all this? Are you more hyped for Sonic Frontiers, or are you more worried? So let me know what you think about all this down in the comments below. But looks like that's all I have for now. So take care, and until next time, I'm out.